Hey guys, it's Sarah with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we have a review and install of the LED DRL headlights with clear corners, chrome housings, and clear lenses, fitting your 14 to 15 Chevy Silverado 1500s. These are perfect for the Silverado owner who wants a projector-style headlight and wants one with LED halos, additional LED accents, as well as chrome styling. These projector headlights feature clear lenses with chrome housings, and all bulbs are included, making install a breeze. These headlights feature a projector-style lens for the low beam and a reflector style for the high beam, similar to those with projector headlights from factory. They also add some LED halos around the outside of both lenses, as well as some additional LED accents. So as far as price goes, these headlights come in at around $400, which is low to middle of the road price-wise when compared to other options. And for your money, you are getting a projector-style headlight that features LED halos and chrome styling. And as far as the install goes, I'm giving this one a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. They do feature a direct bolt-up install, but some wiring is required to power those halos and LEDs. All in all, it can be done within 2 hours, so with that said, let's check out the install. For this install, we used an impact gun, but a regular hand ratchet will work just fine. You'll also need a 10mm socket. You may want a 10mm ratcheting wrench as well. You'll need a Phillips head screwdriver. You may want a small extension, a pop clip removal tool, a wire stripping and crimping tool, and you may want some needle nose pliers. Alright, so the first step in our uninstall, we're gonna grab a pop clip removal tool and remove all of the pop clips that hold on the rad support cover. Now, if you don't have a pop clip removal tool, you can use a flathead screwdriver. Just be careful not to damage them because we are going to reuse these pop clips. And now with all of the pop clips removed, we can grab the rad support cover and remove it off the truck. All right, now we're moving on to the wheel well. We need to remove this trim piece here, and to do so, we need to take out the bolts right on the inside. And we have a Phillips head here. I believe you may have an 8 or 7 mil stock, but just go ahead and grab the proper tool. We're using a Phillips head, and remove this bolt or screw that's on the inside of the trim piece. Then once you have this removed, make sure you repeat that on the other side, and you can grab your trim piece and pop it forward to remove it. Then once you've released each corner, go ahead and remove the trim piece. Now we can remove all of the bolts holding on our grill, starting with the 10mm on top. Go ahead and grab your 10mm socket and remove all 4 of the bolts on the top of the grill. Now there are 4 10mm bolts along the bottom of the grill as well. What we're gonna do is grab our 10mm with an extension and get these removed. Continue on until you've removed all 4 of these bolts. Now that all of the bolts are removed, you can grab your grill and pull it straight back towards you to release it the rest of the way. Now we can start to remove our headlight. We're gonna begin with the 2 10mm bolts up top. Grab your 10mm socket and get these removed. Now there's one more bolt on the front side of the headlight. Grab that 10mm and get this removed as well. And there's one more bolt right on the side of the headlight. You might need a wrench for this one, so we're gonna use a 10mm ratcheting wrench. Now that all of the bolts are removed from the headlight, go ahead and pull it straight back towards you to release it off the truck. And then we'll spin it around so we can unplug it at the back. Then locate your main connector, press down on the black tab, and pull back to remove it. All right, and before we can install our headlight, we are gonna need to wire up some of the LEDs. Now they have given you 2 separate powers and 2 separate grounds that power both the halos and the LED bar. What we're gonna need to do first is grab each wire and strip it back. We have a stripping tool here. We're just gonna take a little bit off the end of each wire. Now, because these power 2 separate sources, you can wire them individually, but for demonstration purposes, we're gonna wire them together and power each LED source together. Now again, there's lots of different ways to wire things up, and it's up to you how you'd like to wire it on your truck. We are gonna join each ground and join each power, just to power all the LEDs at the same time. Either way, make sure you get a nice tight twist on these 2 wires. And even if you have a single wire here, even if you're doing this individually, make sure you have a tight twist. Now we're gonna grab a spade connector, line it up here, and crimp it down. Make sure you have a nice tight connection. And this one is not heat shrinkable, but if it is going to live on the truck, I do recommend getting a heat shrinkable connector. Now we're gonna repeat that with our power wires. Same process, we're actually gonna twist these together. But if you would like to wire these up individually, you are more than welcome. As long as you're getting power and ground, these will work perfectly fine. Crimp it down and double check that you have a nice tight connection. And again, I do recommend a heat shrinkable connector, so you would just heat shrink that after this. Now these are both wired up, we can wire on the truck. Now we can do some wiring on the truck to power those LEDs. Now there's lots of different ways to wire these in. What I'm gonna do is tap into the running light wire and also grab the ground from this main harness. Now you can wire this in however you like, as long as you're getting a power and ground source. So now again, there are tons of different ways to wire. You can cut and splice these. I think a vampire clip is probably the fastest and easiest way. So for demonstration, we're going to go with this method. Again, as long as you're getting your power and ground, you can wire these in however you like. Slide the vampire clip over top of the wire, and then I like to grab a needle nose pliers and just squeeze it down to ensure it has a good connection. Because if the metal inside does not fully pierce this wire, you're not gonna get a connection at all. We're gonna repeat that on the ground wire, which is the black one. Now on our truck, the purple is the power for your running lights. If you're not sure and you wanna double check, just grab a test light and just go into each of these openings and see where the power is. Same process. Just gonna grab that needle nose and make sure we're crimping it down. Now again, you can do this by hand, but I just like to make sure we have a good connection, so I do use those to squeeze it a little harder. Now we can connect our wires. The 2 red wires are gonna go to the purple on your truck. And then the 2 black are gonna go to the ground wire. Once you plug these in, it might be a good idea to throw some electrical tape or some zip ties just to ensure they are tucked away. And then you can plug in your main connector. Just go ahead and line it up on the new headlight and click it in place. Now we can start to line up the headlight on the truck. And get it bolted down. And now that we have our headlight lined up, we can reinstall all of the hardware. We're gonna start with these 2 bolts up top here. And with your 10mm socket, tighten them down. Now we can install the bolt on the front part of the headlight. We're just reusing the factory hardware here. And with your 10mm socket, tighten it down. And don't forget about the 10mm bolt on the side of your headlight. Go ahead and get that one threaded in as well. Then with your 10mm wrench, go ahead and tighten it down. All right, so now that you have your factory headlight uninstalled from your truck, we can check it out side by side with our new headlight here. Now these are both projector style lenses, but for those of you who don't have a projector stock, this will be a nice upgrade. In addition, it also features some LED accents as well as halos, which are a nice upgrade from factory. And they finish that off with a chrome design for those of you who want to add some more chrome to the front of your truck. So with that said, go ahead and repeat all of those steps to install your passenger side headlight. And once you have that passenger side headlight installed, we can reinstall the grille. Go ahead and line up all of the brackets up top. There should be a plastic post as well that you can help line up. Wiggle it in place and then pop each clip in. Now you can grab your factory hardware and thread it back into the top of the grille. Then take that 10mm socket and tighten it down. Repeat that with the rest of your hardware until all of the top bolts on your grille are installed. Now we can install the bolts at the bottom of our grille. Now a trick I like to use is to line the bolt up in the socket and use that to start the threads. And then once we have it threaded in, grab your ratchet or impact gun and then tighten it down from there. Now repeat that process to install the rest of the bolts in the bottom of your grille. And with your 10mm socket, tighten them down. Now that we have the grille in place, we can line up and reinstall the trim piece. Go ahead and line it up front, and then pop it in at each side. Then once that trim piece is in place, grab those factory bolts and reinstall them. Like I said earlier, ours is a Phillips, so we're using a Phillips head screwdriver. And repeat that on the other side. And now that our trim piece is fully installed, we can reinstall the rad support cover, line up all the tabs up front, and pop it in place. And with the cover installed, we can now reinstall all of the factory pop clips, line them up, and press them into place. All right, and now that your rad support cover is reinstalled, you can shut your hood. And then that is gonna do it for the review and install of these headlights. And remember, for all things Silverado, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.